Hare Krishna, everyone. So today will be, first we'll go through chapter 13, what we did yesterday. Arjuna asked some intelligent questions. He had 6 questions to ask about body, soul, super soul equation. And then he said knowledge, how to gain that knowledge. The most important quality was constant and unalloyed devotion, essential quality to accept a bona fide spiritual master. Other important qualities were humility, non-violence, self-control, and detachment. These were something he asked. Soul and super soul, the attributes of soul were eternal, subordinate to Krishna, belongs to spiritual world. Attributes of super soul, all pervading, origin of senses, it's undivided, it resides in everyone's heart. Then who is the enjoyer, qualities of super soul, qualities of material nature, and how to reach perfection. Jnana Chakshu, how to know the wisdom, how to acquire the wisdom, and what is the destination after acquiring the wisdom. Today we will be doing chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. It's modes of material nature. Guna means mode, Traya means 3, Vibhaga Yoga. So 3 modes of material nature. So in the previous chapter, 3 modes of material nature are mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. We have been repeatedly talking about it. And in previous chapter also, Lord Krishna had told about the difference between the soul, super soul, and the body. And then in this chapter, he is going to explain to us about the modes of material nature. That it is the source and the elements, the 3 gunas, goodness, passion, and ignorance, Satuguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Then these the body and the mind, the intellect, these are all material in nature. So they also have these 2 or 3 modes. We are trapped in these 3 modes of nature. And the combination of these 3 gunas, it makes one character. So we'll see how these 3 gunas, how they gain supremacy over each other. They fight over each other, and how we can overcome these modes. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuya Pravakshami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñatva Munayas Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. The blessed Lord said, again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all sages have attained supreme perfection. So all sages, after hearing this, have gained the knowledge. After getting this knowledge, they have attained supreme perfection, right? In this, Krishna is going to explain like what these modes of nature are, how they act, how they tie us, how they bind us, and then how can we get liberation out of it. It is tying us, we know, but how to get out of it. So it's declared that by Krishna that this knowledge is very, very superior, and many munis, sadhus, they have made the use of this knowledge to attain perfection, and they got transferred to spiritual world, right? So it is expected that if we understand 14th lesson and 14th chapter, we will also attain perfection. At least we'll get better knowledge than before. Idam jnanamupashritya mama sadharmya magataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain the transcendental nature, which is like my own nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation, nor disturbed at the time of dissolution. He is assuring Arjuna, Lord Krishna, that those who have got this knowledge, they will no longer have to go through this cycle of birth and death. They don't have to accept the repeated confinement of the womb of a mother. They don't have to get into the womb of a mother repeatedly. And they will also not be obliged to be in a state of suspended animation like that, lying down, at the time of universal dissolution. It means universal dissolution means when everything is finished in this world, everything is gone. That time, the soul is lying like this. It's not moving. It is in suspended animation like this. So it will need not be like that, and it need not be reborn in the next creation, because the 3 modes of material nature, they are the main thing, that is why we are in bondage. And if we get this knowledge and how to get out of it, then definitely we will not have to come back here. Sarvayo nishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonihi aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. In this verse, it's very clearly stated. Krishna is saying, I am the original father of all living entities. How are we made, right? We are made with a combination of the material nature and the spiritual nature. The soul is that. Together, we are made, right? Material nature means what? Earth, air, water, fire, and soul, right? Srila Prabhupada very beautifully explains in this purport that material world, it is completely impregnant with living entities, right? We come out in various forms at the time of creation. Some are animals, some are plants, some are human beings, different according to our past karmas. So according to the karma of the individual souls, the material nature gets to work what to create. This, he has done this karma, okay, he goes into this life form. So he does not cast all souls into material world only, right? Rather, those who are only vimukh. Vimukh means one who has turned his back towards God. So he is put into this material world. And Krishna is the father of the creation. Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibadhnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. So clear. Having explained that Krishna has explained, he is the original father. He is now explaining in the next complete, now coming 14 verses also, he will be saying that how the Prakriti is binding the soul, how material nature is binding the soul. Soul is divine. As such, soul is divine. But when it comes in contact with the body, it comes under the control of material nature. So material nature is sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? Like, for example, I'm showing in this picture. Like, for example, I'm painting. I'm the mode of material nature. I'm painting using these three colors, white, red, and black, suppose, okay? So these three colors, if any one of these colors are, I'm using it on a paper, for example, if it is released in excess by me on the paper, any one color, then the picture will get that color more, right? That shade will be more. For example, I use red more, then there will be more red on the paper than black and white. If I use black more, then there will be more black than white and red. Similarly, right? Similarly, what happens? The Prakriti also has an ink of three colors. So Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So based on our internal thoughts, external circumstances, and past karmas and sanskars, and other factors, these modes become dominant for that person. We wonder why this person is always angry, why this person is always greedy, why this person is always lazy and indolent and sleeping all the time. We wonder. That depends on what past karmas and the internal thoughts and external circumstances that person is having. So you can't help it, right? And the mode, then that predominates, right? It creates person's personality. It creates the shade of that person's personality. The soul is swayed by the influence of three dominating colors. Sometimes Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, it is moving. So now Krishna is going to explain the impact, what impact it has on us. Tatram sattva nirmalatvat prakashakamanayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanaga. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. So now here we have seen prakashakam. Prakashakam, so it means illuminating. So mode of goodness, when anamayam. So prakashaka anamayam. Anamayam means without any sinful reactions. So whenever you are in the mode of goodness, it is very illuminating. It is very calm. You don't have to, worry about anything. Even if there is something, you are still calm. And it makes a person calm. It makes a person satisfied. It makes a person charitable, compassionate, helpful, serene, and very, very quiet, tranquil. So it gives us good health because of that, because everything is calm. The body thing is very calm. So we have good health. We have freedom from sickness. And then when we are in the mode of goodness, it will create a lot of happiness in us, right? So attachment to mode of goodness, it also binds the soul to the material nature, right? So it will, like, these scientists here, You can see these scientists, they are in mode of goodness. They are doing so much for the society, but they're very proud about that mode of goodness. For example, I'm going to a wedding and I need to get some cash. So I go to an ATM, okay, to take out some cash. Say about, I want 1 lakh and I take it out. And suddenly these 3 robbers from somewhere just pounce upon me. And this first one says, 3 robbers, right? So first one says, let's shoot her and take everything, whatever she's wearing and whatever she has on her body and whatever money she has taken. Let's take her, let's shoot, let's go, let's run away. Second one says, no need to shoot her. Just let's take whatever she has with her, tie her up, and then take all the valuables, let's go. So anyway, they follow the second robber's advice and they take everything from me and they go away. After they had gone for some distance, the third robber again comes back. And then he will, you know what he will do? He will open the door of the ATM room and he will put the phone near the door and he will kind of loosen up my ropes, whatever they have tied up, and they'll say, go home. That's it. So what do you think? What these 3 robbers, what are they? Which mode are they in? The first robber, which mode is in first robber? Which mode is he in? Anybody who can chat, who can type in the chat box? First robber, if you have heard what I said. First is Tamo Pradhan. Okay, second. Yeah, first is in ignorance. Very nice. Shri Priya Mataji, Rishi Prabhuji, correct. Second now. Second, passion, Shri Priya Mataji, yes. Rajoguna, very good, Rishi Prabhuji. Yes, first is Tamoguna. Yes, second now, Rajoguna, very good. Now third one, Sattva-guna, Shri Priya Mataji. Ignorance, passion, and Sattva, Raj Lakshmi Mataji. Everyone, all very knowledgeable devotees over here. Very good. Yes, you are absolutely right. So first one is completely Tamoguna Pradhan, like Rishi Prabhuji just said, right? So the first one was in Tamoguna, second was in Rajoguna, and third one was in Sattva-guna. Yes. So we have to reduce. Yet even this Sattva-guna, the third one is, that also still is under the material nature only. We must not get attached to that Sattva-guna like these scientists over here. They are in Sattva-guna mode. Their mode of goodness. They are doing something good for the society. Yeah, by doing discoveries and inventions. Instead, we must use this to step up to the transcendental platform. Beyond these 3 is one more. It's called Shuddha Sattva-guna. So much more purer than mode of goodness. That is called transcendental mode of goodness. So it is a mode of divine energy of God. It's beyond the material nature. That is what we should aim for, right? So at least let's start Sattva-guna. So when the soul becomes God realized, and by his grace, we get Shuddha Sattva-guna. And then we start, it starts, purifying our soul, and then making our senses, mind, intellect, everything divine. Okay, so that is what is about the 3 modes. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, one is bound to material fruitive activity. Lord Krishna is now explaining the working of Rajoguna and how it binds the soul to material existence. What does it do? Mode of passion, it will fuel, like petrol in the car, no? It will fuel in the lust for sensual enjoyment. It inflames the desires, mental desires, physical pleasures, mental pleasures. It's getting everything onto our mind, right? As you can see in the picture. It also promotes attachment to worldly things. We get attached. And person is influenced by Rajoguna. What does he do? He is engrossed completely in worldly pursuits. What does he want? He wants status, he wants prestige, he wants career, family, home, everything more than expected also. It's not wrong, but he wants everything for himself. He doesn't want to give it to God. So that is the reason. They look on these sources of pleasure and are motivated to undertake this activity. Mode of passion, it increases the desire. And what does this desire do? It increases the mode of passion. So they both are correlated. They nourish each other. And then they ultimately trap the soul in this worldly life. How to break out of this? How to break? Krishna says you should engage yourself in karma sannyasa yoga. Means what? Begin to offer the results at least of one's activity to God. We have to, in case we want to break from this rajoguna. So whatever you're doing, give the result to God. Say, I offer this results to you, whatever it may be. So this creates detachment from the world, and then slowly it will pacify the effect of rajoguna. Slowly, it won't happen overnight. Otherwise, you will keep thinking and dreaming like this all the time. Tamastvajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhihi tannibadhnati bharata. O son of Bharata, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The result of which is of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds the conditioned soul. Mode of ignorance is completely opposite of mode of goodness. Anyone and everyone under this spell become mad, and a madman cannot understand what is what, right? Like even if his grandfather is dead, everyone knows that he has died, right? So person should understand that we have an expiry date. We are not here permanently. I'm not sitting on this chair for permanently. I have an expiry date too. I will die sooner or later. But we are all mortals, right? Children will also die. Everybody is going to die one day. We have a date. So death is sure to come. Still people are madly accumulating money and working hard all day and night, not caring for their spirit soul. In Hindi, they say, 7 पुश्तों के लिए जमा करते हैं. So they want to keep it for 7 generations. They want to keep accumulating. So where is the food for the soul? This is madness, sheer madness. In this madness, they are reluctant to even, understand spirituality, let alone walk on it. They are very lazy. When they are invited to associate for any spiritual understanding, like you all have joined for Bhagavad Gita, it is spiritual understanding. But you are keen to understand. They are not interested. They are not even active. Like the person who is in the mode of passion, at least he is active. Even though he is greedy, he is at least active. He is not even active. What is the symptom? In the mode of ignorance, he wants to sleep all the time. Right? Srila Prabhupada in his purport says very nicely, 6 hours of sleep, he says, is enough, actually. But a man in the mode of ignorance wants to sleep 10 hours, 12 hours a day. And he is always dejected, always negative, always addicted to intoxicants, and always sleeping all the time. These are the symptoms of the person who is conditioned in mode of ignorance. You can see him, how he is busy lying down all the time and watching TV. And he is busy drinking cigarette all the time. All this is mode of ignorance. Then we can compare ourselves to animals that way. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanama avrityatu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. The mode of goodness conditions one to the happiness, passion conditions him to fruits of action, and ignorance to madness. Like we have just explained. Person in the mode of goodness is happy by his work. He's like a philosopher, scientist, educator. They are in that particular field of knowledge. He may be satisfied in that way. Mode of passion, he wants to be engaged in fruitive activity, something he wants. He wants to own something, he wants to spend. He also wants to spend for good causes. He may sometimes try to open a hospital, give to charity institutions. Yeah, but he wants his something in return also. Mode of ignorance, it covers all the knowledge, complete opposite of mode of goodness, right? And he is not bothered about anything or anyone. The mode of goodness, it clouds the intellect of the living beings. There is a big cloud over there. He just doesn't bother. For example, you see the man in the previous slide, he was smoking cigarette. Everyone knows cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Every cigarette packet is a warning issued over there, right? By government authorities. But maximum tax government gets it from there only. I don't know how they are doing it. Cigarette smokers read this, yet they also do not refrain from smoking, right? This happens because the intellect has lost the discrimination between right and wrong. They do not even hesitate to inflict injury upon themselves. It's bad for them. They know they may get cancer. But as someone very jokingly said, right? It's cigarette. is a pipe. It's a pipe with a fire at one end and a fool at the other. So there is a fire over here and the fool is over here. So that is the influence of tamoguna. It binds the soul in the darkness of ignorance. Rajas tamascha bhibhuya satvam bhavati bharata. Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva tamas sattvam rajas tatha. Sometimes the mode of passion becomes prominent, defeating the mode of goodness, O son of Bharata. And sometimes mode of goodness defeats passion. At times, mode of ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Now, Lord Krishna is explaining the same individual's temperament. It oscillates between the three gunas, right? It's compared to like three wrestlers. They are competing with each other. Each time, they are throwing one another, each puts down the other. And sometimes the first one is on the top. Sometimes the second one is on the top. Third one is on the top. Like that, they're wrestling over each other, the mode of goodness. The three gunas also keep, trying to gain dominance over individuals' temperament. Sometimes satoguna comes, sometimes rajoguna, tamoguna. There is no rule how long. It will keep oscillating. Sometimes one guna may dominate the mind and intellect for as short as a moment also. And sometimes it may remain there for 1 hour, right? For example, if you're sitting in your room, now you are engaged in the study of Bhagavad Gita. So you are in the mode of Sattva-guna. Now, after this class is over, you will go in the living room. You'll say, okay, let me watch some TV and let me see what is coming in the TV. Whatever channel you have put it on, you're looking at the images, slowly your mind is becoming rajasic now. You want to, it increases your hankering for sense pleasures now. While you are watching your favorite channel, your son, your husband, somebody comes, family member, and changes the channel. What happens to you? Suddenly the mind is disturbed. It causes tamoguna. What are you doing? Why are you changing the channel? I'm just watching. Don't you understand all this? Your mind is filled up with anger. So in this way, the mind is swaying every moment amongst the three gunas, and it adopts that quality. What are the three gunas? Sattva guna, rajas guna, and tamas guna, right? Will anybody want to volunteer to read this? You can read it. Anybody wants to volunteer? Please do. Yes.
Can I?
Yes, please.
The three gunas: sattva, balance, harmony, positive, peace, clarity, light, creativity, openness, intelligence. Rajas, movement, activity, energy, excitement, passion, desire, agitation, anxiety, egotism. Tamas, inertia, inactivity, negative, apathy, dullness, dark, delusion, depression, and ignorance.
These are the qualities of the three gunas, if you have noticed. So that there is a nice story I read somewhere. I will do it very quickly because we will have a little time. So I read somewhere that there were three friends. They were very poor. They lived in a village. They wanted to go look for work somewhere. The land in the village was very infertile. So they said, let's go to city. So they went, and as they were going through the forest, they lay down under a tree. Okay. So they had no money. So they were walking to the city as such. So when they took shelter under the tree, one friend saw a mango tree. He said, oh, that mango is very nice. Let's go and, there are a lot of mangoes. Let's eat. So they sent the oldest one, go and have something and check whether the mangoes are ripe, whether they're good, tasty or not. So the oldest friend went. He walked. He thanked God. Oh, thank you so much, God, that I got to eat this beautiful tree with all these fruits. You're so kind and so merciful. And then he looked for the ripened mangoes. He was going to pluck that when he saw many ripened mangoes lying on the ground. So he took one of them and he ate. It was very sweet. So he said, rather than plucking, let me just eat those ripened mangoes lying on the ground, right? He saw so many mangoes on the ground. So why unnecessarily take the mango from the tree which are in the process of ripening? So he ate them with gratitude to God, and then he dug the ground. Whatever seed he was eating, he sowed in the seeds. He said, oh God, thank you so much for giving me this. I will also sow the seed so that it becomes a tree and somebody else will gain from it like me today. So he came back, he told that fruits were very tasty. The second friend said, okay, sweet and juicy. Okay, let me also go. So he went, he saw the big tree. He realized, oh, I can take some mangoes and I will just break this trunk also and I can take this and sell. I'll get some money out of mangoes and wood, I can make a profit out of this. He'll give me a lot of money. Anyway, this forest is there, tree doesn't belong to anyone, it doesn't matter, right? So he broke and he took whatever mangoes he could, took it home and said, I'm very smart, you know. I could come up with such a smart idea. And he walked back. He said, yeah, mangoes are nice. So third friend also went. He saw the beautiful tree. He got jealous. When I was very small, I sowed so many seeds. Nothing came out of it, God. I don't know. But this one tree, it is coming out like that. Somebody is sowed by luck, and this tree is become so great with so many mangoes. I was so unsuccessful. What? I just don't understand. Then, he would have destroyed the tree. He said, I don't think anybody deserves to have this tree. I couldn't do it. I will eat all the mangoes, destroy this tree. After thinking, he picked up the mango, he ate. It was very sour, he spit it out. So what is this? This is unripe. Then he plucked another one. So same thing. The problem with that boy was he didn't know the difference between ripe and unripe mango. He didn't even know how to differentiate between them. Instead of finding out what is the difference, he got angry. The first one, he saw that the ripened mangoes were on the ground, so he took and ate, but he said, let it ripe further. But this fellow, he did not even understand. He just got angry. He said, what? They were telling me ripe mango is so bitter and sour, and he just threw it away. And then he said, this tree gave sweet mangoes to my friends, but it gave sour mangoes to me. He got very angry. And then he had a lighter. He took out, matchbox. He took out a matchbox and he lit the tree on fire. Who is in sattvic mode, rajasic mode, and tamasic mode? The first one, he had gratitude. He was in sattva guna. He had gratitude, wisdom, kindness, responsible. He was fair. Second was rajas. He was intelligent, but very manipulative. He was thinking about his own interest. His own interest was more important for him, right? Thought about himself. And the third one, completely tamasic, opposite of sattva guna. He couldn't even see the difference between right and wrong, right? Similarly, we also have one of the gunas dominating over us all the time. Sometimes our thoughts, sometimes our emotions, and sometimes even action. So these are the three modes of material nature. We will be doing this activity at the end of the class. So I'm just showing this. You can look into this and think about it. We will talk about it later. This is how it is pulling us. There's a tug of war going on inside. The moods, they induce modes in us, right? So we as human beings, we consciously change the levels of gunas in body and mind, right? How? Sometimes we see something outside, something keeps the thoughts, it keeps increasing or decreasing this guna. Whatever mode is predominating, it will affect us, how we perceive the world around us. It will affect our actions, our attachments, our attitude, right? So tamasic person, he will be always negative and destructive. Sattvic person will be just, he will perceive universe as positive. Things will happen. It will happen. He'll find joy and happiness in everything, right? Having said that, however, the mind is very unstable and it can fluctuate very easily from one guna to another. So what are these three modes? These are like three primary colors, right? Qualities that affect every aspect of our life. The character, the behavior, the approach towards life. It impacts at various levels, physical level, emotional level, mental level, every level. What modes are they in? If you see this, tell me picture number 1. What mode are they in? If anyone can type in the chat box. Komal Prabhuji. Yes, very nice. Rajoguna. Number 2. Tamoguna. Okay. And number 3. Sattva-guna. Komal Prabhuji. Very good. Very nice. Excellent. So first one is Rajoguna. Second one is Tamoguna. And the third one is they are happy. They are in a happy mood. So they are in Sattva-guna. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धिं सत्त्वमित्युत. The manifestations of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, he explains the 9 gates of the body, like we discussed the other day also, are 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, the genital, and the anus. So these are the 9 gates. when every gate of our body is illuminated by symptoms of goodness, then you have to understand that we have developed the mode of goodness. Like how? How will you know? When you see things in the right position, when one can hear things in the right position, when one can taste things in the right position, one is cleansed inside out. So every gate, then there is a development of symptoms of happiness everywhere. Eyes is happy, nose, everything is happy. That is the position of goodness. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanamashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe bharata shabha. O chief of Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develop. So when there is in the mode of passion, we are not satisfied with whatever we have. We are hankering for more and more and more. The greed increases in. If he wants to construct a residential house, he will try his best to have a palatial house, means much more bigger, right? As if he would be able to reside in that house eternally. Will you live there permanently? You need to have a house, okay, good. But palatial house, we want more and more and more. We develop great hankering for sense gratification. There is no end. There is no end to sense gratification, right? He'll always want to remain with his family, in his house, and to continue the process of sense gratification. There is no stoppage. There is no cessation to that. All these symptoms should be understood as a characteristic of the mode of passion. He is going on this, he is climbing on more, he wants more and more, then he wants this car, then he wants this. If he is not satisfied, he will want more than that. There is no end. Aprakasho pravrittishcha pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhe kuru nandana. O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness are manifested. When naturally, it's opposite of mode of goodness, right? There is no illumination. So now naturally knowledge is absent. So when somebody is in the mode of ignorance, he does not follow any scripture, any regulative principle, no discipline, nothing. He just wants to act on his own, according to his own whims and fancies. There is no purpose in his life. He is totally in a deluded state. He has the capacity to work like that. This man, he looks healthy, he looks physically fit, but he just doesn't want to do. He is totally addicted. He's completely in illusion. Even though he has the capacity to work, he doesn't want to work. He doesn't even try. He doesn't even make an endeavor. Everything is negative for him. Consciousness is going on. There is soul inside. Consciousness is going on. He's breathing. Life is inactive. These are the symptoms of somebody in mode of ignorance. These modes, they influence the attitude, towards God and spiritual path. Like if you are in mode of goodness and it becomes prominent in the mind, we may start thinking, I have received so much grace from God. I should at least try and practice and progress rapidly in my sadhana, in my devotion. Since human form is very precious, I've got this I don't want to waste this human life, I'm just running after this mundane pursuits. Mode of passion, when that becomes prominent, we may think, I must surely progress on the spiritual path. Definitely, I should do this. But you know what? What is the hurry? At present, I have so many responsibilities. I have to work. I have to go to the office, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I have to look after my family. I have to get a lot of money. I'll keep everything for my retirement. Then once I'm done with all that, then I will think about spirituality. Definitely, I will think about it. No doubt about it. And then when somebody is in the mode of ignorance, that dominates. I'm not really sure. Is there a God? I don't know. They keep saying God, God, God. I have not seen him. No one has seen him. How do we know? What's the point? Why waste time in all this? I don't know why these people are hankering after all that. Just notice, same person's thought. If he is in the mode of sattva guna or rajoguna, tamoguna, how it oscillates, you know. It can go to that height on the top, Satvaguna, and it can come down to Tamoguna. What do we learn? So many problems can be sorted out. Life will become peaceful. We just don't react. When we are in a lower mode, suppose I'm in a tamasic mode now, don't react that time. Just be quiet. Everything will be solved, because that momentary thing, you should not react. Lord Krishna now begins to explain, you know, the destination we can go in different modes, and what we and the need for making it our goal, how to transcend them, how to move, overcome them. So you see how the modes are catching us. We need to get away from that. And where would we go? Yada sattve pravriddhe tu pralayam yati dehabrit tadotamavidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets. So the destination we can go is to go under these various gunas. If we are in mode of goodness, definitely we'll attain all the heavenly planets, you know, like this. And like Brahmaloka, Janaloka, we'll enjoy over their godly happiness. Here this word is there, no? Amalan, Amalan. Amalan means pure, away from the modes of passion and ignorance. So there are impurities, right, in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form in this material world. Of course, there is above this material is Shuddha Sattva Guna that is there, but in this material, mode of goodness is on topmost, right? So there are different kinds of planets for different kinds of entities. So those who die in the mode of goodness, they're elevated to the planets where great sages, great devotees are all living. So we can go to the mode, this area, if you want, we need to develop mode of goodness. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha praleenastamasi mudhayonishu jayate. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when he dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. So we know what is our destination, right? Some people have the impression that when soul reaches the platform of human life, it will never go down again. Sorry, that's not right. That's not the right information that we are getting. According to this verse, once we read this verse, we understand that what Krishna is trying to explain to us, that if we develop the mode of ignorance, after the death, we will go to animal kingdom. It is very clearly written here. See? Tatha pralinastamasi mudhayo nishu jayate, will take birth in animal kingdom in the mode of ignorance. From there, if one has to elevate himself, is it easy? No. He has to elevate himself through evolutionary process. And then again come back to human form. It will take 8 million births to, you know, come back to human life. So this human life is very precious. So those who are very serious about human life should take to mode of goodness and be in good association and try to make transit these modes. Situate yourself in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee. Whether we will attain human life again or not, we don't know also, right? So once we attain this human life, if we misuse it, if we fail to utilize it to go to Krishna consciousness or higher consciousness, we'll again fall down in plant life, animal kingdom, anywhere. Then again, we have to go through the evolutionary process, moving from one body to the next in the plant and animal life. 8 million births before we get another human birth. That's why I said it's a very, very precious body. We should make full use of it. Karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasah phalam. Acting in the mode of goodness, one becomes purified. Works done in the mode of passion results in distress. Action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. Those are influenced in Sattva Guna, they are very pure, virtuous, knowledgeable, selfless. So they want to do something, service for the people. There are so many yogis here who are doing so much for humankind. They're all in Sattva Guna mode. So their actions also, whatever they are performing, they have pure intention behind that, right? And then definitely the results are also uplifting and satisfying. Those who are in Rajoguna, they have desires. They are agitated by the desires of senses and the mind. So what is their intention? Their intention behind is, I want to show off. I want to boast. I have got this house. I have 4 houses. I have one house in London, one in Switzerland, one in this place, one in that place. He wants to brag and he wants to have that sense gratification. I have so much. My 7 generations after me also will be sleeping nicely. I have made so much money now. So what happened? It leads to sensual pleasures, right? So there's no point. Then comes Tamoguna. Tamoguna, they have no respect for scriptures. They have no respect for discipline. They don't follow codes of conduct. They commit sinful deeds. They seek pleasure in killing animals for their sense gratification. They are indulgent. They want to, they indulge in animal killing for the taste of the tongue, which is the grossest kind of ignorance. This is a prayer in Vedic literature. Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishna, you are the well-wisher of the Brahmanas. You are the well-wisher of entire society, world, and of even the animals, cow. It's in Vishnu Puran. So we need to get away from this, right? So present civilization, the whole civilization is completely under the mode of passion and ignorance. It's a very dangerous age, this Kali Yuga. In all the nations, they should take care to provide a active process, good process, Krishna consciousness process to save humanity from this kind of danger. Like we have got this opportunity to sit and read Bhagavad Gita together. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramada moha tamaso bhavato jnanam evacha. From mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. Mode of passion, grief develops. From mode of ignorance, foolishness, madness, illusion develops. Now he is telling the result. How a person is when he is in different gunas. Sattva guna, it will give you wisdom. It will give you the ability to discriminate what is right, what is wrong, right? So they don't work for sense gratification. He's not thinking about only himself. He's always happy. Little bit he's getting, he's content, right? And then people influenced by whoever is in mode of goodness, they act wisely. They are not in running after something, hankering for something. Rajoguna people, Rajoguna inflames the senses. It is putting our mind out of control. It makes us become so ambitious and gives us lot of desire. Wanting to do something is okay, but we don't give the results of our action to God. That's the problem with Rajoguna. Running after, we need to have some limitation. Somewhere we need to stop. We have an expiry date. So we are trapped. We are running after money and worldly pleasures. And there is no end to it actually. If there is an end, okay, I need a house. I need to take care of my family. Okay, but there is no end also. And everything you want for yourself, you're so selfish. And these worldly pleasures, it doesn't help at least it doesn't help the soul. Tamoguna, again, opposite of Sattva-guna, full of inertia, full of ignorance. They perform all wicked and impious deeds, and they have to bear the consequent results. If the world is devoted to the mode of passion and ignorance, then how will be there peace and prosperity in the world? You can see what is happening around the world. Then you can decide for yourself what is happening. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasthaha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaghanya guna vrittisthaha ado gacchanti tamasaha. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upwards to higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets. Those in the mode of ignorance go to hellish worlds. You can see those who are in the world of this one, the Sattva Guna, they will go to heavenly planets. Lord Krishna is explaining what life a soul will take in the next birth, right? It is linked to the gunas that predominate their personality. Once we complete our journey over here, present life, the soul will need the kind of place, right, that corresponds to the gunas. So this can be compared to a student who is going to apply for college. He has finished his schooling now. He has to go and for admission after complete the schooling. So there are many colleges in the country. So those students with good qualifying criteria at the school level gets good credits. they will gain admission in the best colleges. Poor grade, those children with poor grades and other scores, they are admitted to the worst ones. The lowest quality, the mode of ignorance as described, it is abominable. Result is developing ignorance is very, very risky actually. It is the lowest quality in material nature. Beneath the human level, how many species are there? 8 million species of life. Birds, beasts, reptiles, insects. People in the mode of ignorance can become any one of these, depending on their karmas. But there is an opportunity for us, men, who are in mode of ignorance and passion also, to be elevated to mode of goodness, right? And what is that? That system is called Krishna Consciousness. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue to be in the lower modes only. So if you want this flight, flight is taking off down, we need to fly up, we need to go to the better planets at least, and not be in the hellish planets here. That is what we need to understand. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhigacchati. When you see that there is nothing beyond these modes of nature in all activities, and that Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these modes, then you can know my spiritual nature. So you can see mode of nature is controlling us, and Krishna controls the mode of nature. The moment we understand all this, so he's told, right, about all these three gunas. Now Lord Krishna is now showing simple solution to break out of this bondage. All the living entities are under the grip of these three gunas. You can see as they are gripped right here. Supreme Lord is beyond them. If we attach our mind to divine God, then we can cross this difficult journey and go beyond the gunas and reach Krishna. And the moment we get this knowledge, we start slowly loosening our relationship with worldly objects and people also. And then slowly we start strengthening our relationship with God. How? Through bhakti. That's what we need to understand here. So let's see the modes of nature. Destination at death. Where will the mode of goodness go? I don't know whether you remember or not. So I will allow you to unmute yourselves, and whoever wants can answer. Destination at the mode of goodness.
Goodness, planets. Planets.
Okay. And mode of passion.
World here. Earthly
Yes.
planets.
Ignorance.
Hell. Hellish planet.
Very nice. The result of the action in mode of goodness.
Self of action in mode of goodness.
Pure.
Happiness.
Passion is misery, and ignorance is
Foolishness.
Yes, very good. What is the effect? What is the effect in the mode of goodness? Real knowledge we get. Passion. Greed. We want more and more and more. If we are in mode of passion, that is the effect we get. If we are in the mode of ignorance, what effect we have?
Darkness,
and
madness, illusion.
Very nice. While staying in this body, one is preparing for the next body already. Let's make responsible choices right now. We know we are in this body. Now, as we are in this body, we are already preparing for the next body by doing karmas, right? So let's be more responsible from now. Better late than never. Gunaneti tyatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkaihi vimukto mritamashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, he can become free from birth, death, old age and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. Like yesterday we were having a discussion. We can still have a blissful life in this material life right now if we are able to transcend these three modes. So how can one stay in transcendental position even in this body? In full Krishna consciousness, right? It is explained here, right? Like if I'm drinking water from a dirty jug, there is a jug and I'm drinking dirty water. This glass of water that I've kept over here, it is dirty now. Suppose the water is dirty, what will happen? I will end up getting maybe stomachache or maybe upset stomach, right? Similarly, if we are influenced by these three modes, we are bound to experience their consequences, which are what? repeated birth, death, old age and disease. Sattva guna is better than Rajoguna and Tamoguna. But that also is not enough. It is also a form of bondage. The mode of goodness can be like compared to the chains of gold. So our goal lies even beyond it, to get out of this prison house of material existence. Gunas are present everywhere. It is in every part of Maya. To reach that enlightenment stage or samadhi stage that we talk about. In Ashtanga Yoga, we had last stage is samadhi, right? How? First step, increase sattva guna, decrease rajoguna and tamoguna. Number 2, ultimate goal is to become unattached from these 3 gunas and then see the reality beyond Maya. The person who has transcended the 3 gunas also, third point, is indifferent to what? Duality of even pain and pleasure. Today you will have a lot of loss in your business. You're still okay. You gained a lot, still okay. Whatever it is yours, Krishna. You wanted it, you took it. You wanted to give me, you gave me. That kind of temperament, the moment you start getting, you become undisturbed by these gunas. And then this guna is the part of Maya. What am I doing? And it's not the only, not of the universe's soul reality, right? Which is self. This is important. So in other words, what? Devotional service to Krishna, in Krishna consciousness. It's the path towards liberation from these modes of material nature and material entanglement, right? And even when it is time to go for us, we will understand that death is not the end of suffering. It is just a fast forward journey. It's a forward journey, not fast forward, sorry, forward journey from this transit. If we are in a transit mode, there is a forward journey. Death is not the ultimate end. There is a journey ahead. So what we should decide is board on the proper flight. We have to board the correct flight for going back home, back to Godhead. What flight we are taking depends on what we are doing, how we are thinking. Let's begin now. It's never too late. Arjuna uvacha kailingay strin gunani tan atito bhavati prabho kimacharah katham chaitan strin gunanati vartate. Arjuna inquired, "Oh my dear Lord, by what symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these modes? What is his behavior? How does he transcend to modes of nature?" Now Arjuna heard from Krishna about going beyond these 3 modes. So he asks 3 questions relation to gunas. What did he ask? Lingais means symptoms. His first question is, what are the symptoms of those who have transcended these 3 gunas? I want to know. And then he says, achara means kimachara. Chara means conduct, behavior. Achar means behavior. So achar, vichar we say, right? So his second question is, in what manner do such transcendentalists behave or they conduct themselves? When we see them, how do we know, oh, they have gone beyond these 3 modes? How do we know? How do they behave? So katham chaitan, he says, right? Ati vartate kimacharah katham chaitan trin gunanati vartate. Ati vartate means transcend, go beyond. So third question he is asking, how do we go beyond these 3 gunas? What to do? So Lord Krishna will answer very systematically. Shri Bhagavano vacha prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava nadveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati udasina vadasino gunairyo na vichalyate guna vartanta ityeva yuvatishtati nengate samadukha sukha swastaha samaloštashma kanchanaha tulya priya priyo dhiraha tulya nindatma samstutihi manapamanayo tulyaha tulyo mitra haripakshayoho sarvarambha parityagi gunatitassa uchyate. Arjuna has submitted 3 questions, out of which 2 questions will be answered over here. What are the symptoms? So what are the symptoms? Krishna is saying that the person who has transcended this level, he is equipoised, he is illuminated, he is attached. He does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present. He does not long for it when they disappear. He is equipoised, he is neutral, who is seated like one unconcerned being situated beyond these material reactions or mode of nature, who remains firm. So he does not hanker for anything. He does not identify either with happiness or with distress, right? So Knowing these modes alone are active, who regards pleasure and pain, a clod, stone, piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise, holds praise and blame to be same, who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, treats friend and foe means enemy, equally alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertakings. Such a man is said to have transcended the mode of nature. So what are we doing? We are hankering, right? We are hankering about the things we don't have, right? What will it do? It will plunder our happiness of the present for the future that we don't even know it is ours or not. So in what manner do the transcendentalists they conduct? They are steady in all circumstances, come what may. They deal equally with everyone and everything. They are never whimsical. They surrender to Krishna with determination. They keep on doing their spiritual practices, come what may. They are sad, happy, they will continue with discipline. Very, very important is they are always looking and striving to do human welfare because it is their nature now. Like Srila Prabhupada, he was only thinking about others. He never thought about himself. So at the same time, they know everything is in God's hand. They simply want to do their best. They want to do their duty to the best of their ability and leave the rest to God. So such self-realized people understand the dualities of the world. Like there is happiness and sorrow, but they still remain unaffected by them. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall in any circumstances, at once transcends to the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Now this is the reply to Arjuna's third question. What is the means of attaining the transcendental position, or how does one transcend the three gunas? What to do? Krishna says through bhakti. What is it? Bhakti yoga is the Lord is there, the devotee is there. There is an exchange of love between the devotee and the Lord. So Lord is there, devotee is there, and the love of exchange of love is also between devotee and the Lord, right? But we are not situated in the same transcendental position as with the Lord. And if we are not situated in the same position with the Lord, then we cannot serve the Lord. For example, if you want to be a personal assistant to a prime minister or a right-hand secretary to a personal secretary to a prime minister, you cannot simply get that position, right? You have to have that proper qualification. You have to acquire the qualification first. So what is the qualification? It is to become free from material entanglement, material contamination. And we in that spiritual position will be as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. Of course, we can never be in quantity with him, but quality, that spark, we may also get that. So what is the message we are getting over here? It is that if we engage ourselves in the service of Krishna, then even though these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, we will be able to overcome very easily because Krishna will be helping us with his grace. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness and which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal. So Lord Krishna is telling us that Brahman, which the Jnanis worship, right, is the light from the personal form of God, which I explained many times. It's the beginning of the transcendental realization. Next is Paramatma, the super soul. That's the second stage of transcendental realization. And of course, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, is the ultimate realization of absolute truth. So attainment of Brahman conception of life is the first stage of realization. If he wants, he can continue to stay in Brahman position, and then gradually rise to Paramatma realization and then to Krishna realization. The four Kumaras were there: Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, Sanandana. They were first situated in impersonal Brahman conception of truth, then gradually rose to the level of devotional service, true devotional service, right? So there were process of devotional service beginning with hearing, chanting, remembering, 9 processes of devotional service that we had discussed before also, right? It has to be practiced in association of devotees. So devotional service to Lord is very simple. And one should always remain engaged in the service of the Lord. Eat prasadam that is offered to the Lord. Smell the flowers that you put at the feet of the Lord. Then visit places where Lord has had his pastimes, transcendental pastimes. Then do different activities of the Lord. Observe fasting days if you can. Chant Hare Krishna, a Maha Mantra. By following such a process, we can completely become detached. It will take time, but it will help us to become detached from material activities, right? So what we learn from this lesson is modes will tie us. Modes tie us. Krishna unties us. Modes are very, very, very captivating, but Krishna is liberating. That is what we have learned over here. This is chapter 14. So what did we learn? There are 3 modes. Definition of 3 modes. What are the types? Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Where are we situated in this? Recognizing a mode supremacy. Goodness, passion, ignorance. Goodness will give us clarity. Passion will gives us anxiety, and ignorance is completely delusional. And then after this, we go to acting and dying within the modes. In goodness, we will go to heavenly planets after death. In passion, earthly planets. If we are ignorant, we go to hellish planets, right? Animal planets also. Transcending the modes. So what are the symptoms? We have to be equipoised. We are neutral. We don't hanker about anything. We are same, even if there is happiness and distress in the body, right? So what is the behavior? So behavior is we are steady at in all circumstances. We deal everything equally. We surrender to God and to Krishna, right? So we deal with everyone and anything equally. How to transit? To bhakti. So surrender to Krishna. That is what is transit. This is what we need to do. This is the activity which I would want to do with you. So I'll finish first. So Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Tomorrow we'll be doing chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of Supreme Divine Personality. Lord Krishna will compare the material world to the upside down Ashwatha, sacred fig tree. So tomorrow we will be seeing that one also. So we are done with this chapter. Let's see this one. If you are in 3 modes of material nature, books, for example, I have given. If in the mode of goodness, we'll read normally motivational biographies or some scriptures. Passion, thrillers and suspense books. Ignorant, objectionable websites we go to, which are not good for us. So in the work, what do we do? What work is in the mode of goodness? What work is in the mode of passion? And what work is in the mode of ignorance? Who can tell me?
Work is devotional service towards God. Passion is like you have a goal in life that you want to earn money, and that is passion. And ignorance is like you are just, you are having lots of
not doing anything. So like teaching and all is work mode, and then for passion people, money is honey. Whatever gives money, they are ready to do. And then the third one is like alcoholic, drug addicts completely. What time of the day is goodness, mode of goodness?
Morning.
Morning.
Very good.
Brahma
Very good.
Muhurta.
Passion. What about passion?
Passion, daytime.
Yeah. Ignorance.
Night.
Night. Music. What kind of music is goodness?
Music will be bhajan, kirtan.
Classical
Bhajan,
music, pop
kirtan.
music, bhajan music, yes. And the passion is
Like
rock music, pop music,
Rock
and kind of.
pop music.
music,
Yes,
pop
Yeah.
music.
Ignorant mode is
Heavy metal.
heavy metal, shouting, screaming also.
Yes.
And the place of goodness is
temple.
temple,
Temples,
park, go to forest,
Parks,
go somewhere, yeah,
forest,
nature basically.
and nature.
Cinema houses.
Hotel,
Crazy city
hotel.
life, shopping malls and all that.
All those.
Yeah, and ignorance.
Ignorance, like a bar and all.
Yeah, very
Bar,
nice. Bar,
hotel,
pubs, night clubs,
pub,
right.
disco,
What food is in the
discotheque.
mode of goodness?
Sattvic.
Sattvic, vegetarian.
Milk products.
Yes,
Products.
vegetarian, very nice. Passion,
Vegetarian.
Passion
is
alcohol.
what we-
Passion will be alcohol, meat, spicy
spicy,
food,
yeah,
deep fried food.
yes. Mode of ignorance,
stale food.
stale food,
Drug
yes.
addicts,
Very nice. What
drugs.
state of mind is in the mode of goodness?
Peace.
Goodness,
Peaceful.
peace, happiness.
calm, happy.
Bliss.
Yes. And passion,
Desire. They'll have a
Desire,
hankering.
greedy. Ignorance,
Ignorance. They'll be
Always
deluded.
Always
Foolish.
very nice,
Lazy,
very good.
delusion.
So let us all chant together today. Hare Krishna. 1, 2,
Yes.
3, start. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,